Good morning, students. So, after the exam gets over, today we are going to see the new chapter that is called Some Natural Phenomena. Okay. See, in your last class, that means in 7th standard, you just learnt about that some natural phenomena, some concepts, right? For example, wind we have seen, you have seen that winds, storms, and cyclones. These three things you have seen in the 7th standard. Okay, and you already know about how a cyclone will give a major effect, and these three things will cause that major destruction. Am I right? Okay, so it will provide that major destruction. Am I right? Okay, and you know that what is the safety precautions when these destruction happen means how will you save, and what are the precautions you have followed. So these three things you learned in your 7th standard. Anyway, today we are going to see some more natural phenomena, some more natural effects. Okay, so that is called here, one is called lightning and another one is called here earthquake. Okay, so these two things we are going to learn today. Okay, so if time is there means I will take earthquake also. So first one we have to look on that lightning. Okay, first we have to move that what is meant by that lightning, and before that I will say some basic concepts. Okay, so I'll write that history of lightning. So history of lightning. So in the previous generation, that means BC 600, the Greek peoples, they know somewhat about that lightning. Okay, and that time what they did means simply they took that one kind of resin, and this resin they have to make a friction or what's called rub this friction, that's called the resin name, that is called amber. It's a kind of resin that the amber they have taken and they rubbed with that fur. Okay, so they have taken that amber and rub with this fur. After that, that amber they have to take that amber and few small pieces of paper they have taken. They took this amber near that pieces of papers. Okay, so pieces of papers they have taken, and what will happen, so this amber it will get attract, so it will get attract the pieces of that paper. So from this one you have to know that as in the case of even the magnet also, that opposite charges and all attract each other, and charges and all repel each other. Okay, but what about BC 600 before, what they thought about lightning means, so lightning is they believe that God becomes anger, that time he shows that his anger in the way of lightning, so they have think about in that manner. Okay, but in the later in the 17th century here 1752, Benjamin Franklin, so Benjamin Franklin So he relate that sparks with that lightning. So he relates that sparks with that lightning. Sir, what is that sparks and how he is relate with this lightning? Okay, so first one you have to know about, if you have seen in that electric poles, in the street electric poles, sometimes due to that heavy wind, the two wires and all crossed with each other or contact with each other, there will be some sparks will be happen. Or even if you think about that, anyway, if you are using that old generation TV, so if you switch off or switch on that TV, so just take your hand just closer to the display, your hair and all, it will be moving towards the display. Okay, see, and even when the sockets and all, plug point and all, it will be losing, means that means it will be losing condition. That time also you have seen that some kind of spots will be happen. So Benjamin Franklin, what he did, that sparks may be related with that lightning. Okay, so he thought in that way and he found that. Okay, so how lightning hits happen. So anyway, so before that we are going to see about what is mean by that charges. Okay, I said that some sparks, no, so these sparks is nothing but some kind of charges. Okay, movement of charges. So what does that charges and how the body will be get attract with that another body. Okay, see, before that I will say one thing. See, just consider this is one element. Okay, so maybe you can say that atom, in chemistry you will say atom. So in the center part you can say that is called nucleus. Okay, am I right? Nucleus. So I just write, so nucleus. Okay, so this is called orbit, you can say orbit. Okay, so first one, in the nucleus, what are the particles or content is there. Okay, so in the nucleus they will say that here proton, so proton and neutron is there, proton and a neutron present in the nucleus. And this orbit, along this orbit, what does it rotate? So it is called, so this is called your electrons. Okay, so the outer orbit, the electrons and all are revolving. Okay, so first this is the basic concept. So first, if we take any element, so which is stable, which is electrically stable, means what does that say? So electrically stable, so that means the number of protons and number of electrons are equal. Okay, number of protons and number of electrons, number of electron is equal, means so they will say, so that atom will be stable. Okay, so here for example, if I have taken carbon, so carbon atomic number 6 and mass number 12. Okay, so this atomic number, this is called atomic number. So that atomic number states that number of proton. Okay, so atomic number, this states that number of protons. Okay, and this is called mass number, and this mass number here, it's a combination of, what does it state? It's a combination of here protons, number of protons, no, so number of protons and electrons, it's a combination. Okay, and here if you subtract from 12 minus 6, you will get 6. So this is called number of neutrons. Okay, so this is called number of neutrons. Okay, so I will say why I have to say this one. Okay, this, see, when you are not rubbing, or when you are not rubbing with anything, for example fur or even any woolen cloth or any polyester, so any polythene paper also, so if you are not rubbing with that any material, that atoms will be stable. Okay, the charges and all, so that is considered to be a static charges. Okay, but when you rub with that fur or any woolen cloth, so the charges and all, either it will gain from other body or it will lose the charges. Okay, so when the atom will lose the charges means it is called, see, number of I said no, number of protons and number of electrons, no. So when it is any, it will, if it lose some electrons or if it will be gain some electrons, so that means only the charged body or uncharged body we can find. Okay, so anyway, I will say some practical examples, then you can understand. Okay, so first one I will say about it. So just a minute, so I will take this one. Okay, so first one, you just consider this example. See here students, just consider this one. So if you are taking that two balloons, okay, two balloons, and these balloons are rubbed with, woolen cloth. Okay, so these balloons are rubbed with woolen cloth or any polythene cover, any or polythene anything, okay, polyester material, anything. So rubbed with some materials. So here I have taken woolen cloth, and after you are rubbing, just hang on that balloons. What will happen? So if you look on this, means there will be some repulsion will be present, right? There will be some repulsion. It will be moving apart from each other. So moving, the balloon moving is, balloons and all moving apart from each other. So that means the charges will be apart from each other. So the charges will be same kind of form. Am I right? So when you are taken any what's called any material and you are rubbed with that the same material, this balloon also rubbed with that woolen cloth and this balloon also rubbed with the woolen cloth, that means both balloons are rubbed with the same cloth, which means that same kind of charge the two balloon will acquire it. So same kind of charge, so what will happen? So here also same kind of charge, maybe positive, or here also same kind of charge, maybe positive. So the positive charges, so it will be what's called, it will be repel from each other. Okay, and one more example they will say in your book. Okay, so this is called you just take one discarded refill. Okay, so discarded refill you have taken, and that refill you just same like you have just rub with that polythene cover or polythene material, and one more refill, that both refill also it should be rubbed with woolen cloth. Okay, so rubbed with woolen cloth. So if you rubbed with that woolen cloth means just place on that one refill in that inside the tumbler, and one more refill you have to place it. Make sure that your finger should not be touched with that rubbed end. Okay, so this should not be the rubbed end. And if you consider this one, so what will happen? You just make sure that just to make it as a gentle touch. It should not be touched, just take it closer to that charge, what's called rubbed refill. Okay, the rubbed portion. So what will happen, this portion means, so here also same kind of charges this both refill acquired, so that means here also the repulsion will be possible. That means what conclusion, what is the inference here? So when you are rubbing with that any objects with the same kind of material, that material acquire the same kind of charges. So that is called what's called similar charges. So similar kind of charges may be positive or negative. So similar kind of charges will be repel each other. So that is the concept here. So will be repel each other. Okay. So the next thing is, in your book they gave one tabular column. Okay, so just look at that tabular column and consider the materials here. So you have to either rubbed with that woolen cloth or you have to rub with that any polyester materials. So when you are rubbed with that and when you are taken closer into it, what will happen? So either what will happen, so you are taking that object with that same kind of material you have taken means, so there is the only possible way it should be repel with each other. Okay, so in this one more case, okay sir, now I will take one balloon and one refill. What will happen? So here they gave one picture, so just I will copy that one, and if you consider it means, see here, so here what will happen, this balloon will be rubbed with that woolen cloth. Okay, this will be rubbed with that woolen cloth. Okay, and so and this refill will be rubbed with that polythene. Okay, so polythene cover or polythene, any polythene material. So what will happen that time, if you bring that balloon closer to the discarded refill, so what will happen, so this refill and this balloon both are trying to attract each other. So why sir, in this case it will be repel each other, in this case it will be attract each other means, here you have taken same kind of material and if you rubbed with that same kind of cloth. Okay, but here also refill both balloon, here one balloon